Good day, everyone. There is an amazing information in the Quran that has revealed much historical fact that has been discovered only quite recently. One of that information is the mention of a name called Haman in the Quran. Haman has been mentioned in the Quran as an associate, a close associate of the Pharaoh of Moses, and it's mentioned about 6 times or 6 places in the Quran. And what's also amazing is that in the sources, religious sources that predate the coming of Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him, like the Jewish and Christian sources, what we have is that there is no mention in anywhere in those sources, either from the Jewish side or from the Christian side, of Haman being a close associate of the Pharaoh. The only time Haman is mentioned is about in the last books of the Old Testament, in the book of Esther, where we are told that Haman is actually a close associate of the Babylonian king called Xerxes. Xerxes was a Babylonian king who actually inflicted so much trouble and so much persecution on the Israelites who went to exile who were taken to exile in Babylon. So the Bible or the Old Testament mentions this Haman to be a close associate of Xerxes. But rather, what we are told in the Quran is quite amazing and is quite different from this. But before we get to that, let's hear what critics of Islam or of the Quran have said before this. Before now, people have actually seen that the mention of Haman in the Quran to be a close associate of Pharaoh is actually a mistaken identity by the Quran. The Quran taking a Haman who belongs to a different generation, the generation of Xerxes, about 1,100 years separating Xerxes and Pharaoh, as taking that Haman of Xerxes to be mistakenly and associating him with the Pharaoh of Moses 1,100 years earlier. So people have always said that this was a mistake on the part of the Quran. But all of this changed in the 1900s when researches were done in Egyptology and the hieroglyphics, the writings of the ancient Egyptians was discovered. And it was discovered all due to the excavation work by a French archaeologist called Jean-Francois Champollion. He, along with his own team, first of all, the Rosetta Stone was discovered in 1799. This Rosetta Stone dates back to about 194 or 196 BC. The Rosetta Stone dates back to about 196 BC. And what was discovered in the Rosetta Stone was that Rosetta Stone contains the writings or the records of the ancient Egyptians. It was written in hieroglyphics, which is the language of the ancient Egyptians. It was written in another language, and also it was written in Greek. In these 3 languages, it was written in these 3 languages. But what was important was what helped them in deciphering this. What helped them to decipher the hieroglyphics was that this tablet was also written in Greek. So because people understood Greek, they were able to use the language of the Greek to decipher what was written in the hieroglyphics. And what came to light after all of this was what came to light after all of this was so revealing. And what was revealing concerning this topic was that yes, indeed, the ancient Egyptians actually had a particular Haman who was a close associate of Haman. In fact, in many of their inscriptions and monuments, right now, a monument found in a museum in Vienna or Austria contains the name of Haman, and it is there that Haman is the head of the construction workers, or is the head of the stone quarry workers. Now, when you compare all this information that has been discovered historically, archaeologically, when you now compare this information with what is in the Quran, in Quran chapter 28 verse 30, something very, very profound will be something very, very profound will come to light. And that is number 1, that the Quran mentions Haman to be a close associate of Pharaoh. That's one. The second is that the Quran says in Quran chapter 28 verse 38 that Pharaoh told his people, he said, Pharaoh said, Ya ayyuhal mala'u, O chiefs, O my chiefs, O eminent ones, ma alimtu lakum min ilahin ghayri, I do not know for you any other God besides me. فَأَوْكِدْ لِي يَا Haman. So he said, "Oh Haman, build for me a tower على طين, upon clay, فَاجْعَلْ لِي صَرْحًا لَعَلِّي أَطَّلِعُ إِلَى إِلَهِ مُوسَى." And make for me a stairway that will reach that I may see the God of Moses. وَإِنِّي لَأَظُنُّهُ مِنَ الْكَاذِبِينَ. But I know that indeed he is one of the liars. So in this passage, Quran chapter 28 verse 38, Pharaoh is explicitly talking to a particular man called Haman, and is telling him to make for him a construction, to construct something for him, something that will be so high enough that he may see the God of Moses. So from here, with the historical record that we have, that Haman is the head of the construction workers, we can see that the Quran fits exactly with the historical discovery, that indeed Haman was a contemporary of Pharaoh. Not just that, he was the head of the stone quarry workers, or he was the head of the construction workers. That is why he was the only one that Pharaoh had to look at, or had to point out, to build for him a tower that will reach the God of Moses. So all of this, we ask this simple question: where did Muhammad get all of this information? If this is not found in Christian sources, and this is not found in Jewish sources before the coming of Muhammad, then where did he get it from? Where did he get all of this profound, detailed information from? The Quran answers it in Quran chapter 11 verse 49. It says, "Tilka min anba'il ghaybi nuhiha ilayk." These are things, these are information, these are news of the unseen, which will reveal to you, O Muhammad. Ma kunta ta'lamuha. You do not know this. You were not privy to all of this. Ma kunta ta'lamuha anta wala qawmuka. You nor your people. Neither you nor your people knew this before now. So this is very profound. The Quran is telling us that yes, he got this information only by a revelation from God. Neither he nor his people knew this. No one around Arabia knew about this information before, but now it has been discovered. So this is just history being fulfilled by the glorious Quran. Thank you very much.